Hi. So I'm hoping that we're all set up here. I know I'm 1 minute late. Apologies for that. But welcome to Across the Pond and Back. I'm super excited to get to chat with any of my subscribers or friends actually in this community and on this channel. It's been really, really endearing and encouraging to see people join up, to come along and enjoy the journey and tell me that they've enjoyed the videos, the family vlogs or the expat stuff or whatever. So I'm just super glad and excited. As you can see, I have a pretty unique backdrop of suitcases. And anyone who's been following my channel or knows me, I'm Stephie. I'm an English girl who met and married an American, moved over to the States, which I did not plan to do ever in my life, by the way. But anyway, please let me know when you do join, if anyone actually is going to this evening. I know it's 7 o'clock here in the UK. It's going to be 8 o'clock in South Africa, where one of my new friends is. And it's going to be something like 1 o'clock CST time over there, or Pacific time, maybe 12 or 11. Is it 2 hours before Central time? So anyway, we'll work it out, won't we? I'll be glad to see anyone pop up in the comments in just a minute. When you do, you know how it works. If you can just say hi and where you're calling in from, that would be super, super interesting and really, really nice. So in the meantime, I have a few questions that I would love to chat about with anyone who's going to join me tonight. These are just a few that I just listed on my post recently, but things like, have you ever lived in more than one country? Because I'm really, obviously, as an expat myself, and I consider myself a US expat actually right now. And I've experienced some culture shock, and as I try to share it in my videos, but it's not always easy because you kind of miss things and it's hard to articulate sometimes. But has anyone tuning in ever lived in more than one place, and have you felt torn? So I know I have. I definitely have, and that's something I was going to chat to you guys about. So I'm actually currently sitting on the floor. You can see I'm pretty low down. I have no couch, sofa left. I have no furniture hardly, except for a coffee table and another glass table. It's all just going, folks. I mean, I have to do something with it. I don't know how long it is before I actually move out, but I just have to keep moving and hope the lighting's all right. I hope the audio is all right. Please let me know if you think it could be better with the lighting. I am using just my webcam on my Mac at the moment. So if I do more lives, I might consider getting an external webcam or whatever, or some streaming software. But for now, I'm just using the webcam. So I'm sorry if it's a bit fuzzy. All right, so I'm hoping that you guys can see me. So I don't see anyone popping up in the comments right now. So I'm just going to keep on chatting. And there we are. Sorry. And see what comes along or who comes along. There we go. All right. So anything else? Like, if you could please drop a line to say where you are and what's the biggest culture shock that you've ever had overall. I know mine was coming back to the UK and trying to get furniture that fitted in this tiny little living room that I have here compared to what I had in Florida. I had a family room, I had a dining room and a living room. So 3 really kind of areas. I think we had 2 massive sofas and 2 tables. It was just something you get used to over there. And over here, it was a culture shock. I had to end up selling furniture in order to get it all to fit in. So that was my take on probably the biggest culture shock there. What do you miss about your other home? So I really feel like hi, Len from Michigan still. I assume that you're still there. Nice to see you guys. And Britty from New Hampshire, right? So I was just saying at the very beginning that I have a unique backdrop of suitcases. And I hope you like it. It's different, isn't it? I'm sitting on the floor on cushions. My sofa's gone. Almost all my furniture's gone. And what does a girl do? You know, I have to, if I'm going to do this, I have to keep moving, even though it can be pretty scary. So, oh, she happened to come across this right time. Okay, I did actually put a link up there a few hours ago. I don't know. Hopefully it was the right link. I'm sorry if it wasn't. I'm still very much learning. Of course, I'm a newbie, aren't I? And thanks so much, guys, for being faithful watchers, followers, or just commenters and overall friends. Okay, with all those other things apart, your friendship is so valuable to me right now. You can imagine I would be here all evening with my coffee filled up with this huge cup that I have, telling you guys all about it. But there isn't too much time for that. So at the beginning, I was just asking if there was any expats around. I know, Britty, you're an expat. I was asking about what do you miss most about your other home? Because as expats, I've noticed we tend to have two homes, don't we? We're always kind of thinking about when we're in USA. I was anyway. I was happy there. There was lots of stuff going on that I was glad about, but also I was, missing England. It's my other home. Until I grew out of it, I think I had to just grow out of that. I was an English girl who was kind of pulled out of my homeland for a while. One piece of advice, what would you give for me or anyone else who's doing an international move, especially for the second time, and especially over 50, Gen X, getting on up there age? So, we're not spring chickens anymore, a lot of us. And I hope on across the pond and back that you guys in the older age group now enjoy this aspect of it, because I try and keep the channel real, totally real. I don't want it to be turning into a situation where we're trying to compete with the 20-somethings who have a lot of snazzy things here and, all that stuff that you see. So, occasionally I'll do B-rolls. As you've noticed, I try and, snazz it up a little bit. I digress. You're used to seeing me do that, aren't you? Who remembers me saying I digress? I think you should have seen that by now. Okay, so, right. So how... what's the biggest thing that you would say if someone was having doubts about their move? What would you say? That was the other thing I was going to check up on. But recently, I wanted to share with you. The age difference in the USA. Yeah. Right. I totally agree with you, Britty, because in the USA, I know I was younger then. When I first went there, I was in my 30s, so it wasn't an issue. But I just feel very conscious of it now, because that was really another thing that I experienced when I got back here. Instead of feeling, pretty welcomed in my teacher workforce, which I did by some people, but it's more of an issue over in England, and people who are English or who lived here will understand a little bit of what I mean there. It's a lot more hierarchy here, a lot more, things like that. So you're here, she's there, everyone has their place in England, a lot more than the USA. It's a lot more fluid, isn't it, in the USA? So I do feel like there are more opportunities, even as I get older. If I don't retain this, I have a job offer. I don't know whether I've told you guys, but I have a job offer in Pensacola, teaching post, but they're trying to hang on to it for me. Unfortunately, I'm still waiting here for my completion date to come. And so in England, anyone who's bought and sold a house in England will know it takes a lot longer than it is in America. So, it's it's really a case of I am looking forward to I would say it is a slightly faster paced lifestyle in America, but it's also more relaxed as well at the same time, I found. Yeah. Any questions you guys have today? I'd love to hear any questions. Anybody else joining us? Hopefully, there'll be a little chat going on. I wasn't planning on having it too long, by the way, because unless we have a slow start and then there's a rush, a rush of subscribers. I'm joking. I'm laughing at myself. Okay. So recently, I'm a member of 2 expat groups. I wanted to share this with you while we're online. And Britty is in both of them, and she's an admin for one of them. I don't know if you're an admin for the other one, you know, the one that's called something like Brits who have moved to the USA or something. But recently I wanted to pose a question just for my own interest and to see. I'm really, really interested in people. I love to hear what people are saying, especially about this subject of, you know, expat life. But anyway, even, you know, Gen Xers, people getting older in this life, it's not easy, is it? So the question that I posed in the expat group was, what life lessons would you say that you've learned as an expat? And I wrote some of these responses down because obviously I'm not going to remember them all. But these are a few of my favorite things. The first and foremost one that kind of popped up first, and this, I haven't, you know, I'm not going to share names. Don't need names, do we? I think it was a lady, she said, the grass is not always greener, and being a round peg in a square hole is quite difficult. So totally get it. And I think the good thing about my move this time is I'm a lot more aware of the USA and its its weaker points, let's put it like that. No country's perfect, is it? So I'm not expecting to land in USA and everything's just fitting in. Can you hear me, by the way? I have this close by, but I'm not sure how well it's working. So I would just like you guys to be my tech analysis, please. I know it's a little bit fuzzy, isn't it? Because I did try and play around with the lighting. I've got several lights on in different places, but again, it's not too easy for me. Sound is great. Thank you. Right. Well, that's good to know, because if I do another live before I leave, I don't want, the worst thing is, isn't it, not being able to hear. If it's a bit fuzzy, then I think we can all deal with that. But the audio, it's nice to hear, isn't it? So that was the first and foremost one. Yeah, I totally agree. She said the grass is not always greener, and totally right. And then someone else said, don't forget why you're leaving. So these are all things that the expats were sharing. These are all Brit expats. As far as I know, they're expats. And they were, oh, sound is good too. Thank you, Britty. So I wanted to think about that myself and ponder it, because I have had my moments here, like I tried to share in that nitty gritty video. Do you remember that one? And I was just, the other day, I mean, I have ups and downs and ups and downs. You know, I was out with my daughter. We've had a couple of really nice family things that I've, you know, turned into videos. We got together and visited couple of castles. It's been really neat. But when I have lovely days with them, of course, you know, my heart's hurting and I'm not wanting to leave them, obviously. I wish that I could just have everything. But I guess we all do, don't we? We all wish. Yeah. So that was the second thing that I thought is worthy of mention. Don't forget why you're leaving. So whenever I get a little bit doubtful or things are being a bit slow and that gives me time to have some doubts, maybe I just remember the reasons why, how I even got here. And I only really decided after Christmas. So it's only a few months that I've been on this road again, you know, moving. Okay, embrace it. So yeah, that was another good one that I wanted to share with you. So Len, I know that you're not an expat at all. You've been, I think, in USA all your life, right? And have you lived in Michigan all your life? I'm interested to know. But you can empathize, I think, say if you went to another state in the USA, I think you'd have similar feelings to what the expats have. You know, even though you're America speaking English, but I'm sure you'd have some of these going on in your heart and mind. This was number 4 was a really good one that I wanted to share with people, you know, especially people just watching this after the live's finished. Don't expect expats to be nice people, right, Britty? Because Britty is an admin of one of the groups I was talking about, and she does a super good job of that. So, oh, Len just said he lived in Germany. Oh, I didn't know. Is that in the military, maybe? And many different states during, oh yeah, military career. Wow. So one day, you know, I'm going to try and get up there and visit you, don't you? I'm after you in the best possible way. I'm just playing with you, but I would really love to come and visit and, you know, hear more about your experiences, of course. This is what I'm just really amazed about with this whole YouTube channel. I am digressing again here, I know, but I'll get back to my list in a minute. If there's anything that comes to mind, by the way, just let me know. But I am just amazed about how many interesting and thoroughly wise people that have either subscribed to the channel or they just give such amazing comments, especially on particular ones like the leaving the UK and other ones like that, you know. And I've got some super amazing comments that sometimes I just go back through some of those to remind myself of what they've asked me, or even, you know, ideas for videos and stuff. But yeah, so number 4, going back to my list, don't expect them to be nice people. So I know that sounds a bit of a no-brainer, because when we go, say if we move from one part of Florida to the other, it's obvious we're not going to just move into that street and then expect everybody in the street to be lovely, completely on the same wavelength of us. We know that, don't we? But when we move, like the Brits to the USA, in my experience, a little bit, I didn't have that too much, but it's a really important thing to remember. I don't want to forget what you're typing here as well, so type it again if I miss it. But yeah, I don't want to get into that trap again of thinking that, oh yeah, I really need to just join another expat group now because I want to be with some nice British people. Because I know better than that. I know that Brits, Americans, different people from different countries, Spain, whatever, you're going to have your grouches, you're going to have your people that you just simply don't get on with, you know, as we do in life. So I think that's a really good thing that that person wrote and they've learned overall. So, and then they kind of said in a polite sort of way that if they're going to be I won't say it on here, but you know, a not too nice person in their own country, they're probably going to bring that with them. That's what they were saying. All right, so next, next one, don't waste money shipping furniture to the US. I think that's such an amazing piece of advice, and that's what she learnt, or he, I can't remember now. So this is how they put it as well. I thought it was just totally unique. He or she said, it will look like it came from a doll's house. And Britty, do you equate with that? Because the thing is, Len, you know, you've been used to that big furniture. Do you remember in Germany, space is a lot smaller over there? Well, I know totally what they mean by that. So that's why I don't even try. There's odd little ornaments and things that I bring, you know, only just for nostalgia, really, but not for practical stuff, you know. I mean, like anything at all, it's just not worth it. It's it's very British anyway. I've noticed when I was in Florida, I had a different style anyway. There's a different, even if you like kind of wood stuff, there's still a different style. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, coming from a doll's house, I thought that was really neat the way they said that. And every country has its problems. So we're not going to get into a debate about that because we know what's going on. We know what's going on here and we know what's going on in the USA. But true, isn't it? I think we just have to embrace that. Even if you were just visiting a country for a holiday, I think it's a good thing to realize that you're not, you're not going to land there and everything's just tickety-boo. What would an American way of saying that? Come on, let's hear from you guys. How would you say everything's fine, everything's just completely great? Tickety-boo is like a silly English way of saying everything's fine. How would you say it over there? By the way, this is my bee mug that I eventually retrieved from my son. He borrowed it. And the days went past and I kept saying, can I please have my bee mug back? I don't mind him borrowing it, but I like my bee mug because it's so much in there. So everything is awesome. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, awesome is a good word. Yeah. My hubby actually, Tom, he used to say, I prefer to keep that word for God. Awesome. But I do get it when people say awesome because, it's the spirit really, isn't it, of how they're saying it. If they're saying, oh, you look awesome today, obviously they're not detracting from God's awesomeness. That's my view. Talking of God and faith, excuse me, I was going to ask a couple of you guys when you come on here, how has your faith helped you through something? So I have really got a lot of out of your videos, Len. And Britty, you've been an amazing friend in terms of just sharing some particular things that really hit home. But how would you say your faith overall has helped you through? Because sometimes I just feel like, how did I get through that? How is only 3 years since Tom died? It's 25 now. Yeah, 3 years. So it's not even 3 years yet. So a lot's happened in 3 years. My mum passed away as well. And Len, I know that you've had numerous things going on. And so how do you feel about that? Any thoughts? Yeah, that's right. Can't imagine life. British says, I can't imagine life without faith. I know. Exactly. Trying to live without oxygen because it's our life, isn't it? Like Jesus said, he's our life. So for believers in Jesus, I just appeal to people who, if they haven't met him yet, seek him and he will be found at the moment anyway. But yeah, faith in God and knowing that every morning I get up and if I have a pressing problem, like I can share with you something that's pretty imminent right now in terms of my moving stuff. It's about my car. Oh, deep breath. Let me have a slurp of coffee. Yeah, Len says my faith, my rock, the security. Exactly right. But you live in God's country in New Hampshire, says Britty. Okay. I didn't know. That's good news. But over here, I think there might be a kind of revival going on. I think there's a little bit of a backlash with certain other people. So what was I saying? Can someone remind me of what I was saying, please? See if you're listening. Okay. Now, I have had this a little bit more, I've noticed. I think it's because I've got a lot on my mind, and I'll walk downstairs and I'll just say, Lord, please remind me what I was coming downstairs for. But yeah, the Lord is definitely my rock too. Jeremiah 29:13. Oh, if you've got time, can you just share with us what that scripture is? I will look it up later. Oh yeah, thank you, Britty. Yeah, about my car. Oh, thank you so much, dear friend. Well, in a nutshell, of course, I could have started selling my car earlier on, like April, May. But there seemed to be a long, long time between then and now, in terms of I still had to go to work. I still had, knew that I want to go shopping. I've done tons of things in the car. We've gone out for days and all that business, things that you would be a lot harder without cars. So I kind of left it until about 3 weeks ago. I've had a few people inquire about my car, but I've still got my car. And now I'm kind of starting to quietly panic. So I just ask God every day, please help me to find a buyer, or send me a buyer now, because it's getting closer now. It could be in the next 2 weeks that I'm actually moving. So you seek me and find me when you search for me with all your heart. Wonderful. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Oh, hi, Lou. Just dropping by to say good luck with the USA move. What will you be doing for work out there when you arrive? Wow. Hi, thank you so much for joining. I hope you stick around for a little bit. And if you haven't got time, whatever, that's fine. But thank you so much. I appreciate you. Well, I do have a job offer in Florida, in the area where I was living, or close to. Okay. But there's a big snag with it. It's a grade 4 teacher, which would just, for me, is just ideal. That's my age group that I love teaching. Classroom teacher, it would just slot back in fairly quick. But there's a snag here. They interviewed me in, I think it was May or June. They were really keen to get me on board, so thank God for that. And it was really nice, a compliment really, because they met me by Zoom or WhatsApp, Zoom. But they interviewed me and they said, okay, when can you start? So I had to explain to them that I haven't got a completion date, and I still haven't got a completion date. Now it's getting closer, but they said that they're trying now. They've started school, haven't they, in America again? Over here, of course, we're still on summer holidays. Let me just grab a bit of water so I don't lose my voice. This is my Swissport water bottle that I got at Pensacola Airport when I worked with United Airlines. So I keep things for a long time. But yeah, that's the job that I have, Lou, so far. But they said they're trying to keep it for me. But if I keep, it's not it's out of my control. I keep going on with my lawyer. I told him I have a job. I just hope that they can keep it open for me. And they did actually volunteer to cover, find a substitute for me for the first 2 weeks, which is very, very kind of them. But anyway, we'll have to see. I'm not sure about that. Thank you. Thank you, Len, for saying that. Yes, let's pray that God will expedite the car selling, because I don't want to leave it with my daughter. She has enough on her plate. She did offer to have it in a visitor space while it's being advertised and sold, but it's all extra hassle for her, and she's got her children starting back at school. She's just moved house herself, or she's going to be. So, hi, welcome to Florida, the Sunshine City. Hi, Falls 45. Lovely to see you on here. We've just been chatting about, some life lessons that Expat shared with me on the Expat page that I had asked a question earlier. And also, we're just talking about my trials of moving here. So you can see, look, I have a unique backdrop with all my Well, actually, it's not all the suitcases. I've just sent one. I sent this massive suitcase by my baggage. Okay, if you ever need to send like a bag, apart from going on a plane, and not too many of you doing this international move stuff that I'm embarking on. But if you are, look up my baggage, because so far they seem to have done a good job. I can track the bag. It's going to my friend Tamara's house and is on its way. So it should be there in Cantonment, Florida quite soon. The advantage of doing that, by the way, I thought about it a long time. It is a slightly more expensive, but it was like £136 for a really bigger than this suitcase here. It was taller. And I had a lot of stuff in there that I don't have to just lug now. I can just let them do it at FedEx, So it was worth it to me to do that. Let me catch up with what you guys are saying here. So Britty says Jeremiah 29:13, a verse often quoted in Christian context. Yeah, promises that those who seek God with all their heart will find him. It emphasizes a wholehearted, intentional pursuit of God, right? So we do have to pursue him. We do have to, make that effort. Yeah, totally get it. So Falls 45, I don't think I've come across your name before. So could you just please remind me, did you join? Did you have a look at the videos recently, or have you commented and I've missed it before? I'm sorry if I did. And Britty says, is it a new car that you could take back to the dealership? Oh, no. It's a 2018 BMW. And my friend Pat from Milton, no, not Milton, Pace, he was trying to help me find a car down there, because I noticed that cars here, a secondhand BMW 2018, normally speaking, goes for about £10,000, but over there a lot more in dollars. So I got to get my, I've got to adjust my thinking with that. So I just want to get something for it. If I have to lose a little bit, then so be it. Anyway, so yeah, the car thing is definitely something I'm waking up in the middle of the night thinking about it. It's one of those subjects. Everything else is going pretty good, actually. Yeah, I have to say. Can you hear that fan in the background? It's been very, very warm here in England. We've had a heat wave, actually, very unusual. My friend from Pacific time, Colleen, is Colleen here today? I think she was going to try and join. Maybe something came up, but I do get when oftentimes, I'll see later and somebody was live and then, oh, I missed it, but then I watch the reruns, which is really nice. So that's what I'm hoping, if some of my subscribers are not being able to make it right now. Yeah, thank you. Please keep praying for me about that. It's a really nice car, I mean, it's just nothing wrong with it. It's just basically I need a buyer now rather than 4 months time, So, what kind of coffee do you guys like as well? I'm bringing some coffee that I like. It's organic. It's a bit more expensive. I buy it from Amazon, but can't get it in the USA. It's called Exhale. And I absolutely love it because it's just nice, It's nice to know that it doesn't have the other stuff in there. And I know most of the time we can't get organic coffee, so most of us end up getting generic coffee. But if I can, I'm going to get something similar to this. Oh, I see. For the car, how much is it? Len says, well, say someone was buying mine at the proper market value. It's a 2018, a BMW Series 3, which you don't have in the States, but you can imagine it's kind of sporty. It's a 5-door. That would go for, in dollars, let's say about $12,000 or $13,000. But I've heard from my friend Pat that apparently, I'm going to end up paying a lot more if I want a BMW. So I kind of dropped that idea of the BMW when I get there. I'm looking out for a Toyota, Honda, something like that, you know, something similar, but a bit more price nice. How much is it in dollars? Yeah. So I am looking forward to talking with you again before I leave. So what I plan on doing is I'm going to do a video soon about checklist. It's rather boring for people who are not moving, but if you are moving, I figured that it would be very useful. So it's a kind of video that I don't expect you to sit through it laboriously. Yes, Stephie, yes, we know, yes. 1, 2, 3. But I saw another one of those recently on YouTube. It was like a different context, but she presented it really nicely with a checklist. So I just wanted to do one for the USA, you know, and for me and how I would like it set out if I was looking for one myself, you know. So that's coming up. And any other requests for videos while we're at it? I am going to do, I was debating whether to do a kind of, you know, like we see a lot of in YouTube, you know, you've got them live and you've got them crying and you've got them, you know, the real life stuff. Well, yeah, I get it. You know, some people like to watch that. They can relate to it. And I totally get that. I can relate to it. But I'm not sure if I can handle it, actually, because I'm going to have to say goodbye to my daughter and my little granddaughter. Of course, not goodbye completely, you know. God willing, I'm going to do what I did before. Before I was working at the airport, I don't know if you know, but I worked at the airport in Pensacola for like 4.5 years, actually, when my husband was kind of all right, but he was stumbling a bit. He would come to the airport with his carer, and that's another subject. So I will have to share that with you guys another time. Falls 45. Whereabouts in Florida? Do you mind just sharing your general location or not? So yeah, it is the Sunshine State, isn't it? I must admit, I am excited overall, even though, of course, I'm worried about leaving my daughter. I'm not so worried, by the way. I think she's a grown woman. You know, she has her total busy life. She has a good job, a lovely home, lovely family, you know, friends. You know, she's been here all her life. Because when I met and married Tom, I had been married before, and she had the opportunity to come with us, and you know, she was like a young adult then, and she kind of, you know, got used to her own friends by that time. So she decided to stay, and of course my heart was broken then, but I have to consider all the aspects for my life as well, and I hope that doesn't come across selfish, but I think you guys understand what I mean. Okay. Oh, is Lou still here or not? Probably had to move. All right. So anyway, how long have we been on now? I'm looking for a time. How long? Looking on this screen. Not sure. Okay. Yeah, we've been on quite a long time. So what I'm going to do is I will set another day for a quick live before I leave, and maybe outsidey type one, you know. I don't know how I'm going to do it, but if you have any requests or any other questions about my move thing, I'll be glad to share them with you. It's quite, in a nutshell, it's quite a journey. So please be praying for me, anyone who likes to pray, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Guess what? I have hiccups again. I do think it might be slight nervous thing. I'm not too nervous in front of the camera, but knowing that you guys are listening and watching, it's like a strange feeling. But I feel like I'm in very good company today. So thank you for joining us today, Len, and you take care as well. And like I said, I am looking forward to coming up to Michigan one day. It's a long way, I know. I remember when I worked, I think it was American, I jumped on, we used to get our, free flights, and we used to try and jump on the free, if there were seats available. And that was when Tom was able to walk fairly well. And our son, I can't remember how old he was, but we used to race and get on that plane on the standby. And we actually flew to Chicago on our way to somewhere up there. And it was just such an amazing experience, knowing that I was flying for like 2.5 hours or something, and still just a little bit of the USA. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me. I really, really appreciate you supporting my channel, helping to, and I will look forward to talking to you another time. Michigan is God's country also. Wow, yeah. Water, winterland. It does look cold, I must admit. And that's the only thing that I'm not too keen on the idea of. I wouldn't mind coming there in the summer. Is that all right? Oh, yes. Keep strong and all the best. Only what? 13.5 hours from Michigan to... Oh, really? Wow. That's not too long, is it? So, yeah, I would like to see a little bit more of the States when I get back there. Because of my husband's illness, not just because of that, I can't say it was all that. Because before he was, becoming ill, we used to go up to North Georgia, we went to Missouri, we went down to South Florida. So we did do some traveling. We went to Texas for a bit. So, but I would like to see more of the mountains and things like that, All righty. So thank you guys who've been hanging out with me today. I appreciate your listening ear. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Bye for now.